like the Irithel.
For sure. We'll see though if they want to utilize that or if they want to switch it up. Technically, Wanwan is also one of his signature picks back in the day. It hasn't really made an appearance here in MPL Indonesia Season 13 because it's a bit risky, especially up against Bruno. It will bully you. I know this matchup. So they go for the Lilia first and then they are putting Chidera in that last pick. This might be the reason, by the way, as to why we're seeing Chidera over Marky. Maybe it's because his hero pool is a lot wider than we know. He hasn't shown a lot of picks, but he has shown an Irithel, a very wild pick, to say the least.
Right. For Geek, they still hide the gold lane. They're going for the Lilia. Like I said, against this kind of close-range team, especially against the Fredrin. Now with the Xborg on top of the Lilia, it's going to be a lot of shreds, poke damage from far away. But Alter Ego, they want to go for that decisive play. They do not want to let Geek Fam poke at them. It's going to be the Valentina and the Lapu Lapu in the hands of Pi. Now that's some terrifying backline dive potential.
And the thing is, because they picked up something like the Lilia for their mid laner, it complements their dive-in playstyle, right? They don't necessarily have to be too worried about that backline if it was, let's say, a Vexana or maybe even a Novaria. But with the Lilia, there's a little bit more flexibility and there's also a complementary way to support the damage that they want to go for. But of course, Alter Ego with the Lapu Lapu, they're trying to negate that with crowd control. Now, Geek with the last pick, there it is. The safer pick, not the best pick, but it's carry for Chidera.
The best pick in this situation.
Yes.
With the Brody, the Claude banned out. The Bruno will have a good time at farming, by the way, to get to that mid-game power spike. So for Geek Fam, they need to hold on or win the other side of the map. Put Chidera in this weak side. Don't care about him until he gets his items.
My real question right here is the early game. Pre-level 4, before the turtle is even in consideration. I think Alter Ego has a solid composition with a lot of crowd control, a lot of spammable spells, but against a Lilia in particular and a Baxia, I think there's going to be a big clash pre-4 that can still go in either team's way.
And I'm wondering whether or not Lilia will go for Purify with so much CC, right? Because you have the Ruby, you also have the Valentina in a way, and as well as the Lapu Lapu. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen, with the wings flying high for the last match of the day. Let's get into the Land of Dawn for game number 1 between the 3 face masks and Geek Fam.
The final match of Saturday, day number 2 of Season 13, Week 3. Can Alter Ego prevail or will Geek Fam get themselves out of the red zone?
Well, in the mid lane, you can see the amount of damage that this combo can bring. We saw the Arlet always playing with a strong mid lane. It was the Vexana in the previous match. Now with the Lilia, you're seeing a similar effect. Geek Fam just going very aggressive at it. Rasi though, just kind of shadow, just kind of match Beloyski's movement. You take a look at the emblems though, Beloyski going for a more defensive, right, with the tenacity. He wants to be a bit more safe when he's going in as aggressively as he usually does. Luke though will be having the Festival of Blood, so he's going for a bit more sustain in the situation.
It feels like there's a lot of emphasis from Beloyski here in the gold lane. Nino's getting pressured in this 2v1 situation. And we talked about this, right? That matchup between Bruno as well as the carry. And it looks like Geek Fam, they want to try to make it even, if not in favor of them for the gold lane.
I was wondering what Rossi was doing there. He was matching Beloyski's movement, but once Beloyski went to the top side, he wasn't there to really back Nino up. Fortunately, no casualties thus far, but Taz already trying to push his advantage right here.
They retro. Nope.
Oh, taken just like that. 17 seconds until the turtle, and you can see everyone gravitating, but I feel like whoever gets into the right situation, the right position first, will have a huge advantage here.
Yeah, Chidera has taken already heaps of gold there on the shield, on the tower. And that will make it a little bit uneven in that gold lane. Maybe just exactly what he needed to be able to come out on top. But now, the turtle has spawned. Both of these junglers are actually on the same level. With Hazel stepping in for Ray, does he have what it takes?
Oh, Raven Spider from Pai, a good stun from Rasi as well. That's a great stun over the voice. Going Taz will be able to utilize this chaos and even go for more. Now with a big bump over to Luke and a boy forcing the Black Shoes, 2 for 1, and the Turtle for Alter Ego. Going for more on the purple buff. Luke will have to respect this, will have to back away, but Taz will respect it too. He knows how fast the Boxer can come back.
Hazel steals the Turtle, actually.
Yes.
So right before he goes down, amidst all that chaos, he won the retry battle against what's supposed to be a free Turtle for Taz.
It was a big decisive play right there, and I do believe that Alter Ego felt like he was going to get taken out before it was even a factor, but look at this, 2v2.
Final slashes used up there with the Vengeance, and the Worldie bouncing back and forth. You're right, man. That was crazy.
Hazel
Because he was
holding his
isolated, he would get
Exactly.
the Turtle for free, and he walks up with no hesitation and just retries. Completely different from the last week.
own. Exactly. Now with that kind of confidence in the retribution department, that's a big difference, a big adaptation that Alter Ego has to do, right? Now, even if Taz is isolated, as in he has full control over the neutral objective, he needs to be careful in case Hazel's feeling kind of lucky.
Whoa! A good shield unity into the final slash, layered perfectly by Beloyski, but Kryt has stolen away the Black Shoes and will be able to get out. Taz with a big bonk right now, but a boy hops into Purify and backs away. Now with the stun over to Hazel, that's a Bravest Fighter slashing him down, and Kryt will win out the prolonged battle.
What is up? What is up with Boxias diving in to the turret and then they lose the trade? That was supposed to be in their favor.
I do feel like it's some sense of urgency of trying to make a play happen. On the Boxia, you're relying on a huge amount of clear due to the fact that your first skill, your shield,
Yeah.
really kind of like reset the cooldown whenever you hit like a big jungle minion or a hero, right? So you can clear a lot faster, but afterwards you do feel kind of pressure to try and find something afterwards, and you can't really have the same kind of gank pressure that a Fredrin does. So you're forced to just try and use that speed, and sometimes it just leads you to be under the turret, and as far as we've seen at least, it's just never a good idea.
Taz is jumping in
Oh.
over to Beloyski. 3 members down below. Final slash cancelled out by the stun and even pulled back to the turret. Beloyski will be able to finally get the final slash down. But it's when he's too low to use the Vengeance. Hazel on the Turtle now, trying to look for a trade. 4-1 in kills. But the gold isn't too far.
5 man up. It looks like Geek are trying to delay this just a little bit more, but Hazel goes in on Rasty.
Over with the last Insanity too. Blows up. That's a retreat battle here, and it's going to be Taz who wins it out this time around. No mistake about that. Chidera purifies out of the taunt, even with Pi, who jumps in with that Bravest Fighter.
A lot of back and forth action right here, but Alter Ego has always been the more decisive one. Beloyski, fancy movements there, but did not land it. Like I said, Alter Ego are the ones proactively making the plays happen, and Geek just seemed to be just slightly always one step behind. They're still able to get kills in trades for the neutral objective and steal one, but now Beloyski forced to flicker away.
Yeah, looks like Alter Ego, they understand the difference in the gold lane, right? Right now, Chidera is leading in gold, so they want to make it 3 winning lanes. And what do? They try to find a rotation on it. They try to find a gank on it. But with him already rotating up, he's not going to get it. As a 1v1 fight between both of the EXP laners does ensue. Doesn't amount to anything just yet.
That's the kind of lane you expect coming in from Pi going up against Luke. Both playmakers, both aggressive. It's only a matter of the trio mid lane right now, right? If you look at the gold earlier, Alter Ego is actually behind on the side lanes, but in the mid lane, jungle and roam, that's where they have their gold advantage. It's going to be a high mobility, roam-heavy style that really stifles the movement of Hazel on the Baksha even.
Yeah, and it's starting to show. But here, he's rolling down in the bottom lane.
Defensive Bravest Fighter. He actually goes back in.
Whoa.
Anti-CC out of the final slash. Flickers out the last Insanity. Sear by. Woo. That's why he earned the title, sir.
Fancy plays from Pi. That means it's a 3-man gank attempt on the bot side that did not amount to anything. Alter Ego will be able to trade it back for a turret. As you can see, man, it's just speed and outplays happening all across the map.
Good, I'm offended. Over to a boy, but he actually decides to fight it back. Has the Black Shoes to jump around. And Hazel is on that shield unity form, looking for more farm. Taz is ahead of Hazel for now. And they're on the turtle already. Super fast from Alter Ego. Right after popping a boy Black Shoe in the mid lane. Chidera is actually still trying to hold it down despite it getting resetted. Hazel there with the retreat. Shadera who wins it out. Taz retreat early, and now Beloyski is going to be balled down by Nino. Hazel looking for the shield unity as a boy places down. I'm offended! Over from Rossi. Bring him back, but the shield unity connects finally on Rossi. Locking him down for the last insanity to connect him Nino. Even though he's 3 hitting in the back, Luke is burning him down slowly but surely. Taz gets one last strike to pick up a killing spree. And in the back, it's a disaster for Geek Fam. Only Hazel left standing. It might be a wipeout. Beloyski respawning back in. Hazel, shield unity to get out.
A 4-4-1 trade. Huge win for Alter Ego, the 3 face masks, as they did everything right in that team fight, right? Beloyski goes in on Krite though.
It's a 1v1. Krite's low. Has the black shield. Gets back to full HP. It's a bait. It's a trap. A trap that leads into Taz. But it might be a double bait. It might be a double trap. No, it's not.
It's the baitception from both these teams. But man, Alter Ego, they're looking to really ignore the neutral objective. They go for it, but they have no issue letting go of it if Geek Fam are using all these ultimates to try and secure the retribution. Once it happens, they just keep going, and without enough escapes now, they're going for another fight though.
Over to Nino, sliding tackle. Luke with a flicker last insanity. They are split around. Alter Ego are playing this really well. Nino is going to be able to go and kite around Luke's last insanity. Hazel jukes away from Pi. Good maneuvers to go towards that bottom lane turret, but now with no XP lane, they'll be forced back.
2,700 gold lead already now for Alter Ego, and in the previous team fight, Pi was doing so much work in the backline as well. Rossi being able to utilize his CC to create things a little bit more safer for Nino to kite through. The way that all 5 members are playing these team fights have been impressive. And it feels like Geek Fam, they're the ones that are scattered in these team fights. They're the ones that don't seem like they're on the same page in a way.
Because Luke's whole idea is to try and get Nino, right? They're trying to barrel down and pinch him against the wall. But unfortunately, Alter Ego comes in from the side, not from behind Nino. And because of that, they're just constantly worrying about a big I'm offended play or a bravest fighter play. Now we're back to the same Lord Den scenario, and I think you can really expect Alter Ego to go for a big fight first before going for something like a 50-50. They know they don't have to.
But even now, Taz is a level ahead, and let's hope the junglers are going to be able to get this time.
Wow. Bravest fighter poke. We don't see that a lot.
It's almost like he uses it to get out of the situation and then was like, hey, I can kind of use this right now. And with that, without Beloyski, they will let go of the Lord.
Uncontested. The first Lord, uncontested. On the back of that play from Pi, with Beloyski so low, they didn't have anyone to initiate. Unless they wanted to go for just pure damage from Luke, but I don't think they wanted to risk it, especially without the perfect 50-50 chance with the retribution.
You have to look at how little time Geek Fam has to really plan out what to do. And every second, once it seems like the fight is over, the lore take is over, before you know it, Alter Ego are already on to the next thing. And Geek Fam just seem bewildered, like, okay, oh, are they doing this now already? They scramble to try and get into position, but they're always one step behind because of it. A boy's trying to clear. That Lilia damage is starting to be very relevant. But now with the Lord, there's a chance Alter Ego are strong enough to go for a base turret.
They have a lot of good wave clear though, right? They have an X-Borg, they have a boy on that Lilia. Technically for the Lord, they got that shred for Chidera, from Chidera.
Right, that's percentage HP damage. And against the Lord, the Boxer can also reset the shield. As you can see, Hazel just spamming it. So they can clear the Lord very, very easily. And Alter Ego understands that, won't try and go for anything too risky. They're perfectly content just caging Geek Fam into their own base, looking for their own advantages.
Oh, quite a needle hurt! The Faraga armor just got melted like it was nothing.
But even then, they're still unable to take down the base turrets from Geek, which means they're falling back. Disciplined plays here from Alter Ego. Taz looks like he's opening up a little bit of the vision. There is some screaming in the audience that I am not sure what it is about.
You never know.
You never
Screams
know.
of joy? Question mark.
I mean, yeah,
Possible, possible.
it was coming from Alter Ego.
Well, going back to the game here, that's a lot of damage, man. Divine Glaive, Lightning Truncheon already computed for Krite, and that's the kind of burst you can expect. The big issue for Geek Fam is that Taz is just standing up there menacingly, and boy,
All the way in the front, get terrified, but they are able to bait. Oh, Rossi with an invincible, or actually invisible. I'm offended. That wasn't too invincible.
yeah, I was about to say, Taz is just standing there, and there's no way right now for Geek to really try and threaten him. It's looking very similar to the last game of the previous match. Here's a player's gold by Ube's gold though. Nino so far ahead of everyone else. 9K?
Oh man.
1.5K above the second highest, which is Krite. Chidera is all the way down there at 7K. So Geek Fam has a lot of farming to do if they want to equalize. And look at the positioning. Alter Ego, they know that they have the mobility and escapes. They don't need to just move as 5. They put 1 on top, 3 in the middle, 1 on the bottom. It's the same good old 1-3-1 rotation from Alter Ego.
Despite all that effort coming from Beloyski in the early game to help Chidera out in that 1v1, is still, in the end, it's still Nino leading in terms of gold. And the problem is, now he's already behind, and being on a carry, he doesn't have that much range either. And with so much CC from Alter Ego, with only 1 Purify, it doesn't look like it's easy, but
Engage onto Rossi. Luke in the back already. Last insanity not connecting. Meanwhile, Pi with the Bravest Spider takes him all low. Nino with the flicker forward and the big bong now onto Beloyski. The suppress and the damage from Nino. My goodness.
the infamous Nino flicker. We finally get to see that again, and this is a free Lord again for the 3 face masks.
We gotta give a shout out to Pi though.
Yes.
He deleted the HP bars of 3 members from Geek Fam before anything even happens.
We know why.
Looking at the Hunter Strike, Malefic War,
What?
and Sea Halberd.
No wonder.
He's just relying on the natural shielding and the regen coming in from his emblems to really beat that tanky member. Aside from that, he's just going all in on the damage. And Geek Fam, they're just too focused on Krite, focused on Nino. They thought like, okay, we can tank some Lapu Lapu damage. They thought wrong.
Is this a common build for Lapu Lapu?
No.
No, I don't think so. Usually it's a Hunter Strike, and then for the most part, just tankiness. Pi is just pushing the advantage, knowing that his team is ahead, that he can get away with it. He goes for it. And now with the Lord in Tau, seems like Alter Ego are going for a 3-wave push.
15 minutes in, it seems like it's still possible, but now Geek Fam, they're the ones defending, and Alter Ego are the ones who have to get creative about the invade. With Pi going full damage, can they really find an opening with that?
The boys clear is just too good, really.
Woo.
They were able to actually deny the 3-wave push just by clearing. They didn't even do anything too special. They just cleared better.
It's going to be a very tough time for Alter Ego to use the Lord, because Geek, like I mentioned earlier, with the Lilia, with the X-Borg, with the Baxia, and the carry, all 4 of these heroes have aspects that make them so good at clearing the Lord itself. Later on though, I feel like if you're talking about an opening to really crack open the base, they have to like match the waves, right? Gather Geek Fam together, and then go for a big play. But at this point, I don't think they want to risk it just yet.
It feels a little risky though,
For sure.
right? I mean, if Rossi is going defense, then maybe they can rely on Rossi, but can they rely on Pi to look for an opening that we're usually accustomed to seeing with that build?
See, I think it depends on what you mean by opening, right? If he
An initiation.
Right, so Pi, even though he is quote-unquote full damage, he can still initiate by landing the big stuns, the big skills. Afterwards, though, he won't be able to survive for very long. So if he does want to go for it, Alter Ego as a whole needs to understand that it's going to be a small window, and they have to go all in and go for more of a burst kind of deal, not a full-on long-term team fight.
Because considering this is Chidera not at full items yet as well, right? So when he gets to that point, he should be dealing enough damage that Pi coming in is like an instant disappearance.
This is what's the disadvantage of having a attack speed shred-based marksman. Even at full items, there's still a bit of time that's required for you to shred someone down. Compared to something like a Bruno that has crit damage, you chunk down HP bars, especially once heroes who build full damage like Pi's Lapu Lapu right here, a lot faster than a carry. So there'll still be a window of opportunity It's only whether or not Altrico can capitalize fast enough. Whoa, what was that?
That was an I'm offended. Another invisible one for Rossi, unfortunately. Only getting the Natalia, but Beloyski gets Grite, forcing the Black Shoe Taz. Two-man taunt. Pi still waiting to go for the initiation now with the conceal.
All right, oof, Rossi moving aggressive forward with the conceal again. I really thought that like Rossi got the play, but Beloyski kind of splinched it somehow. The interaction was kind of caught me off guard. And now it's back to the same situation, but Altrico, they have a base turret, so they're playing it very disciplinedly, and they're not allowing the Lilia, the X-Borg from Geek Fam to really get that kind of poke damage before the real big fight. And that's really severely limiting the possibility of Geek Fam to come out on top on these fights.
So we're gonna need a triple B miracle, right? The ones that we usually see when Geek Fam are in a pinch, when Geek Fam are behind. It's usually on the back foot of a big play coming in from Beloyski. Rossi.
Box up, final slash not connecting. The taunt does though. And now they're looking to shred Taz down. He is very, very low. Hazel, very hasty there. The Black Shoe popped in by a boy, and Altrico are able to disengage really well. But Geek Fam are holding on. Final slash on the Grite. Now the burst down as well. Has the Black Shoes and gets out barely. Rossi looking for the opening once again into the bush. And Geek Fam, they do not want to go for anything too crazy. By the way, look at how they've managed to wave up top, Geek Fam.
They set up for a bit of a push, and even though it looks like it was going to be a hard push, the fact that Altrico has empowered waves earlier, with the base tower taken down. Oh wait, Pi is going to talk to them.
Oh, I'm offended into the back. Beloyski now jumping also onto Nino, who still has a flicker, doesn't use it just yet, has a rose gold meteor and does so much damage back to a boy. Grite flickers forward to claim the unstoppable up against a boy, and Pi comes back to the team fight. Luke has the mortality pop, now the Faraga armor too, and one last shot from Grite. It's a double kill. 3 members taken down. They want to look for the end right here, right now.
Hazel, the only one left standing, was still able to get that buff up. But with this, with Chidera, will he be able to clear enough and on time with 5 members and knocking down, waiting for their demise?
I'm offended. Over. And there you go. That's a taunt coming down. Taz still trying to distract Chidera as he does a lot of damage, but Pi, my goodness! That burst from the full damage. Lapu is too much for Geek Fam to handle. This is your winning moment presented by Samsung Galaxy A55 5G, and it still ends up with Alter Ego winning game 1.
I'm done with utility, Pi says. Let me go for the damage.
It's time for me to have a little fun, he says. Not wanting to be an enabler, he wants to take matters into his own hands. That final fight, man, I can barely believe it right now. They sent Pi up, and Geek Fam saw like, okay, we have a 5v4, then